Hi everyone, this is Mike, Gray 1951, and I'm back doing a video for the first time in about, I think it's been over a month, I don't know, trying to ease back into it again. It's funny, the longer I keep away from this, the the harder it is to do it, so I'm just going to turn the camera on and start talking and see how it goes. I'm doing this in my computer room. My new laptop, I didn't even realize until somebody pointed out to me my new laptop has a built-in webcam. I guess that's fairly new or fairly common with new computers. So I'm going to try this for a while since I can't seem to figure out how to use my old camera, my little video camera, my Sony Bloggy, which is about the size of an iPod or a transistor radio, which it still works. It's just that I don't know how to load the software into my new computer. I forgot how to do it. So anyway, so I'm going to see how the webcam thing works out. And I'm in my computer room, which as you can see is my chaotic library, and I have a lot of my Star Trek stuff in here. And I apologize for the big massive white glare in the window behind me. This room has both southern and western exposure, and this is the middle of the afternoon, so the sun is starting to blare in. So anyway, I'm going to see how this works out. I want to continue the series of movies from A to Z, which I had to kind of drop out of when my old laptop decided not to work anymore. Had to get it replaced. Took me a while to figure out the new one, and I just wasn't able to do videos. So the last video I did was for the letter S. I can't remember now what movie I had for letter S, but I also did the movies for letter T and letter U. I did those on Facebook, so I'm not going to worry about making videos for those. For the letter T, I did The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, directed by John Huston, which was a first watch. And for the letter U, I did Up the Down Staircase, starring Sandy Dennis from the year 1967. Which I had seen many times, and I enjoyed watching those again. For the letter V, I'm picking. You can laugh at this if you want. This is The Valley of the Dolls, one of the best bad movies ever made. I admit that I didn't have a lot of V movies, but this one I thought would be fun to talk about. Valley of the Dolls was made in 1967, and I saw it when it first came out. I was 16 years old, and of course it's based on the very famous novel which had come out the year before, written by Jacqueline Suzanne. And I also remember reading the book, but I don't have it anymore, and it's been a long time. So I don't remember a lot about the book. I think they followed the book fairly closely in order to make the film. And of course the film is about three young women who all get involved in various aspects of show business, and they all start taking pills, uppers and downers. And the pills are the dolls of the title. I don't know where. I've never heard anybody but Jacqueline Suzanne refer to amphetamines and sleeping pills as dolls. Maybe that was sort of an in-word for people at the time who were taking them. I don't really know, but I've never heard anybody else use that terminology. So, Valley of the Dolls. And these three women, played by, well, Ann Wells is played by Barbara Parkins. She is a young woman who comes to New York from her New England home, and she's a very conservative, kind of a very down-to-earth person who has a lot of very strong values, but she gets involved as first as a secretary in a theatrical agency, and then she is discovered for being very beautiful, and becomes a model, a supermodel on television for advertising a line of products, right? And the second woman is Neely O'Hara, who is a very talented and very determined and energetic singer. She's portrayed by Patty Duke. And she, at the beginning of the film, Neely has a small part in a Broadway show, has one song to sing, and the show is starring this diva-like singer-actress portrayed by Susan Hayward. The name of the character is Helen Lawson. And when Helen Lawson realizes what a good singer Neely O'Hara is, she kicks her out of the show, which of course makes Neely very unhappy, very angry, more determined than ever to become a star and to somehow someday get back at Helen, which in the film she does. Okay, the third person, the third young woman, is Jennifer North, played by Sharon Tate, who is a beautiful and curvaceous blonde who is kind of a showgirl type and very much aware that the only talent she have is showing off her body. She falls in love with and marries another singer, a guy named Tony, who was played by Tony Scotti, a guy who made his film debut in The Valley of the Dolls. And they're very happy for a while, and then he is found out to have this rare disease which renders him basically paralyzed and unable to speak, unable to do anything. So Jennifer, unfortunately, gets pulled into doing pornographic films in order to make a living and pay for this man's medical expenses. So she's trapped in that life. All three of these young women, for various reasons I should say, get involved in taking pills. And so that's the whole story. The gist of the story is what happens to these three women, the men they get involved with, they marry, divorce, blah, blah, blah. The most destructive of all three is Neely O'Hara. Now, really, she's probably the most important character in the film, and Patty Duke is an extremely talented Oscar-winning actress, but she overplayed Neely O'Hara to the point where it is more of a caricature and more of a parody than it is a performance. In a lot of the film, especially at the beginning, before Neely becomes this diva, just like Helen Lawson, Patty Duke does pretty well, but it gets worse and worse. And what we find out from the backstory of Valley of the Dolls, which in this wonderful package, it gives you it's a 2-disc set, and it gives you a lot of documentaries talking about the backstory of how the film was made, why some things were done the way they were done, and interviews, of course, also with Patty Duke and Barbara Parkins. And Patty Duke has gone on record as saying that the director, Mark Robeson, was very antagonistic towards her, and that she found out later that he antagonized her because he wanted her to give a certain kind of over-the-top performance, and that made her even more angry when she found that out. But it was not a happy experience for her, and the documentaries about the film are actually better than the film itself. And one thing that's interesting is that supposedly Jacqueline Suzanne knew a lot of people in show business, and she based some of her characters on people that she had known. And she based the character of Helen Lawson on Ethel Merman. Ethel Merman. Oh, wow. Watch the Mormons start giving me bad messages here. Merman, who was the Broadway diva of all time, and I guess they had been personal friends for a while until they had a very bad falling out. She supposedly based the character of Neely O'Hara on Judy Garland, who was, of course, an extremely talented woman who, as she progressed through her life, she became more and more addicted to pills, and it finally destroyed her life at the age of 47. And the filmmakers decided to cast Judy Garland in the film, not as Neely O'Hara, the person based on her, but as Helen Lawson. So that was they were trying to attract attention. A lot of the people were in the know. I don't know if Garland was, but a lot of people who read the book and knew something about it understood that this character of Neely O'Hara was based on Judy Garland's life. I don't know if Garland actually knew that, but she lasted a few days on the film, and then because of her behavior and all of her personal and health problems, she was fired. So that's kind of interesting. An interesting part of the legend of the Valley of the Dolls. But the film really is it's a camp classic. I mean, there are so many things that are done in such a way that it almost looks like they're trying to make a parody instead of a very serious film about show business people getting involved in drugs. It could have been done much better than it was. Personally, I blame the script. In defense of Patty Duke, some of the speeches she has to give as Neely O'Hara, these long speeches, I don't think even Meryl Streep could have made them believable. You know, I don't think it was written well enough to make it a story that you could just accept as being real. So many of the things came off as funny. So the movie looks beautiful. Beautiful photography. It has great sets, great clothes, great design. It has some very nice music, including the title tune sung by Dionne Warwick, which was a big hit at the time, and written by Andre and Dory Previn. And there are some other songs in the film that I don't think they wrote those songs. I'm not sure now who did, but some of the other music is actually very good. But it it's really a mess. Valley of the Dolls is a mess, but it's so much fun, and I think you probably have more fun watching the extra features. It has screen tests of some of the actors. It has wardrobe tests for Judy Garland. I guess when Judy Garland walked off the film, she took all the clothes with her, and she wore them for the next couple of years when she was still doing concerts. And just a lot of interesting information, the backstory of how the film was made and things that happened. And it also has a lot of people who are fans of the film who always loved it because of the fact that it was so overdone. And I guess years later, some people got together and they put on a play of the actual shooting script of The Valley of the Dolls. They made it into a play, and it was just a big hit as a parody of itself. And even some of the actors who had been in the film started going to see the play and just really enjoying it. So, okay, that's my V film, and I guess I'll shut up now. I've already been doing this for almost 12 minutes. But, okay, does anybody like this movie, or do you just want to laugh at me for choosing this? But it's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm hoping this will work out and that you'll be able to see me, and maybe I will just do my videos in this room from now on with my webcam until I figure out something else to do. But comments are welcome. So, all right, how do I turn this off? Right here. See ya.